What's up, everybody? Crackshock Tactical here, and today I have a special treat for you guys for being so patient. I have pulled my own personal sidearm out of my collection, my 1911, my Iver Johnson. Today I'll just be doing a basic takedown, disassembly, and cleaning because I have just done some target practice. I'm really sorry for the long wait between videos. I've just been busy. I haven't had any time to shoot my guns, and therefore haven't had any time to clean my guns. But without further ado, let's get started. Quick overview of the gun. It's got Novak low mount sights, so I can get some new iron sights if I want. I probably will, because these iron sights, they really aren't that good. I don't like them that much. If I can get them here for you. They're not great, but I'll probably change those out in the near future. It's got these really nice wooden grips. I really like these. They feel great. A very nice, I think it's like 2.5 pound trigger. It's got your standard safety. It's also got this grip safety. It comes with a 6-inch barrel with forward and rearward operating slats. But instead of 45, I opted for your 10mm standard round, which, comparing that to a 9mm, quite a bit faster. Without further ado, let's get into the cleaning process. To start, push in this button at the front, this little thing right here, and keep pressure on it, because it is a very, for 10mm, it is a very tense recoil spring. And push this barrel bushing to the side and keep pressure on it as you pull out the spring. There it is. With your spring assembly out, there it is. There's your bushing cap, and there's your spring assembly. Next, take your barrel disassembly notch right there, your slide disassembly notch, that little notch right there, and line it up with the slide catch and push the pin on the opposite side. And once it's lined up good, it should just pop right out. Sometimes it needs a little bit of encouragement with a tool of some sort. Mine usually doesn't, see? And that should bring out your slide catch, and with it, your barrel should rotate free pretty easily. Next, take the barrel bushing that you used earlier to remove the spring, and rotate it until you see that locking lug on the inside there, and just pull it out. This locking lug right here, right there, is what I'm talking about, that thing right there. And then the barrel should slide forward and out of the gun pretty easily, like that. So we have completed disassembly. I'll give you just a quick overview of your parts. This is the spring plate. This is your recoil spring. This is the spring retainer. It sits right in here, and the spring goes inside of it. I'll show you that later. This is your barrel. In this case, it's a 6-inch barrel. This is the slide, and this is the barrel bushing, and this is the frame. We're gonna start cleaning with the barrel, and since we're starting with the barrel, you know what that means. Highly corrosive cancer chemical, my favorite. All right, so take you a sizable sheet of paper, gun cotton, whatever you're using. I would prefer gun cotton, but that's up to you, truly. And weave it through your cleaning tube. This is super long. I just don't adjust it for any of my guns, truly. I go in the barrel instead because it's easier. You see, I got that mounted. And take you a generous coating of cancer spray. There we go. And it still does the thing with the lid, but that's alright. Mildly annoying, doesn't impede me, only slightly. Oh boy, I might be out. It's alright, I don't really have to clean this. Alright, there we go, and then now that we've gotten that, you should be able to thread. I'm going to tear off a little bit. I put a little bit too much paper towel there, but we should be able to just thread this. I did it wrong. Damn it. We will begin cleaning with the barrel, and since we're cleaning with the barrel, which is covered in real nasty stuff, we get to use our favorite cancerous spray. Yes, bore scrubber. Who remembers this stuff? You know, the unnecessarily deadly cleaner. We all love it. We all love it so much. Mostly because it'll kill us instantly if we need it. least according to the label, but that's alright. Coat your cloth that you're going to use to clean the barrel in a generous coating of death spray. I guess you can use pretty much however much you want, but then take it. I don't know if I have enough here. I probably have a little bit too much. I'll tear off a little bit, and then weave it through your through the little eye here, so we can clean the gun. Pull it through, or tear it off in my case. It's being stubborn, so what? Then thread it through your barrel. Now this gun isn't incredibly dirty shooting because it doesn't have a gas system to recycle through the barrel. However, it is still gross, as most of them are. And I do believe that should be relatively clean. Yep. And I think I'll run one more pass, just to be safe. Alright, I think that looks good. Yeah. Shines like the sun, perfectly clean. Now take a dry cloth of your choosing that you can fit through the barrel. Thread it into your cleaning rod here. It's going to be mildly difficult because my cleaning rod is really tiny, as it's 10 millimeter. And run it through there. This is to remove the cleaner and any excess stuff the cleaner may have left behind, which, as you can see, it did. It did leave some stuff behind. We just in and out. It should look pretty good after that. Now that the barrel is clean, I'm going to move on to the slide, which usually isn't gross, not particularly anyways, but it can be, especially if you put a bunch of rounds through it. Unfortunately for us, you're not going to see that much dirt come off of it. Well, fortunately for me, because I'm broke and I don't have enough money to buy enough bullets to put enough rounds through this thing, truly, to get it dirty enough to warrant that. Like, really, you need to put a lot of rounds through it to start seeing major buildup in there, because the carbon's going to start. Oh my god, dude, my bore scrubber's not working. The bore scrubber is my greatest enemy, because if I accidentally sprayed it myself, it might kill me. And it just doesn't want to work ever. I need to get a new bottle. But anyways, make sure whenever you're cleaning this, probably the most important part is these rails here. I don't know if you can see them because the camera's on autofocus, but these rails right here is what the slide rides on when it attaches to the frame over there. And if those are not cleaned correctly, the gun just won't function. That's just the way it works. That side, not incredibly dirty, as you can see. There's barely anything on there. It's just old residue from the oil I put on my guns. Yeah. And make sure you get the whole thing clean, just overall. Like, you want to get the back section here, because that's where firing pin is, everything. And if there's gunk in there, that could potentially cushion the hammer from the firing pin. It probably won't work. Now, make a note of this. These little notches back there, if it'll focus, yes, those little notches, those two things right there, they lock up with the notches on the barrel. These little notches, if it'll focus, why won't you focus? Yes, these little notches right here. They improve accuracy, and they also just lock up the gun so it doesn't explode in your hands. So ensure those are clean, because if they're not clean, you can have an out of battery or just terrible accuracy, truly. I mean, it probably won't do either, but it's possible, so I wouldn't risk it. Clean out the front. And I think that should be about it for the slide. Now we're going to move on to the frame here. Now this doesn't even require bore scrubber, so firstly, I'm not at risk of cancer, and secondly, I don't have to clean it off whenever I'm done. Really just needs lube and gun scrubber, but like this is probably the simplest part to clean out of the whole gun. Unless you're going in depth, then it's the hardest because you have to disassemble everything. But There we go. All right. So, firstly, just take your cloth with your gun scrubber, not even bore scrubber, just gun scrubber, and clean off all the old excess lubrication like that right there, because that's going to be gross, and that's just, you don't want that on your gun, really. Get in there, because it, like where the spring sits, it gets kind of gross in there, as you can see, with the old excess oil residue. Yeah. The feeding tray is also important. This right here, this thing, you got to get that because that's going to be gross. Get the front of get the hammer face. This right here, the magazine well, top and bottom, because the magazine well also gets gross with bullet residue and magazine residue. The bottom now. If I the most common place for me to find rust in handguns, usually not mine but other people's handguns, is in this right here. Just in here, I swear, it's every single time. If there's rust in the gun, it's right there, no matter what. All right, now I'm gonna clean the rest of the frame. I'm gonna clean off these rails because, like the rails on the slide, where is the slide? Where did I set it? There it is. Where, like the slide, these rails right here. Make the camera autofocus. There we go. These rails right here, they interface with the rails on the frame, and that's what causes the gun to function. So ensure those are properly lubricated and free of dirt and grime, because if they are not, then your gun will not function. It will jam constantly. Yeah, I think that's good for the frame. I'm going to lubricate the slide and the frame real fast, just because that's a separate process. You get my rim oil here, we all know and love. I'm just going to apply copious amounts to this right here. I'm almost out of rim oil. That will be my next trip to Rural King for sure, because it's all weather. Now that I live in a place that's much, much warmer than where I came from, Illinois, it should be significantly, I shouldn't need the rim oil as much, because rim oil, the type that I use, is, I believe it is a graphite based type. Let's look at it here. Yeah, graphite. Graphite based is for cold and warm weather, because it can get hot in the summer in Illinois, and get cold in the winter. So I had to get a lubrication that would withstand both, because certain lubrications, if you don't know, can only, they can't last in certain colds. Now, silicone-based lubrications are much better in cold. And then, I don't remember, there's another one that was much better in the warm that I don't use, because I don't live in Florida. Jesus. Imagine living in Jurassic Park, USA. Could not be me. Anyways, lubricate the rails specifically. But for the slide, lubricate in here, because this is the spring housing. Get the spring housing, all that. Get up here. I'm going to direct spray some parts of the frame, just because I feel like it. Direct spray the hammer. Get in there, because I want the hammer to be in good shape. I'm going to let her go for a second. Don't pitch my hand, please. Thank you. And I'm just going to rock her back. There's the trigger reset. And let the oil work into the gun. There we go. Yep. Alright, I think that's good. I'm going to start reassembly now. To begin reassembly, take your barrel, ensuring that the ring is facing forward, and push it into the slide. Once it's in the slide, take the spring rod and put it in there, ensuring that this notch right here is facing towards the barrel. If you don't, it will not assemble correctly, and it will be a super big pain to reassemble. Trust me, I know from experience. And push it in there. Now, peering through the hole where the barrel retainer slash slide catch goes, look in there and see that the barrel bushing is lined up. If it is, insert retainer. You gotta kind of hear it snap. There we go. Put it in right there. Put it in right there to the reassembly notch, and push it in like that. Now the barrel should be secure, and from there I can take my barrel bushing right here. I can put that back on, like so, right? And then I'm going to rotate it all the way to the right. I'm going to find my spring cover right there and put it on my spring, like so, like so. I'm going to push this all the way down in there. I'm going to press this down in there. This will take 2 hands. Press this down in there and rotate the barrel bushing back over top of it until I hear this nice, satisfying pop. Whoa, 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 not so fast. You thought we were done? No, we gotta lubricate it now. So take your gun, lock the slide to the rear like I have here, and take your rim oil or firearm lubricant of choice and spray it. I'm gonna spray it in here. I'm gonna invert the gun as well so it doesn't spill everywhere. Camera see that? Yep. Spray some in there. Not too much, just a little bit. And let it kind of settle in there. I'm gonna spray some on the barrel. Not inside the barrel. Do not spray it down the barrel. That will be an amazing fireball, but I don't want you to get killed, so don't do that. Let the slide forward and kind of run it back a couple times. Should work pretty well. That should lubricate it pretty well. I am going to lubricate my feeding tray because the ammunition I use is cheap and has feeding issues. Lubricating the feed tray can help a little bit with that. Don't put a bunch in there, or else it'll become a problem. I'm going to spray some on the disassembly pin here so I can get it in there on the rails, which worked pretty well. I do believe that is it. I believe that covers everything for disassembly and oiling of this 1911. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing, consider liking. If I get enough views or likes, I got access to some pretty rare and exotic firearms. I'll pull them out of the safe for you guys. I just need, I need to know if that's what I want. If you guys want shooting videos, if you guys want, takedown videos, you want more detailed videos, I can do that. But I think that covers pretty much all of it. Until next time, Crackshot Tactical.